Hey everyone, and welcome to week 3 of expectations. I can't believe we are almost to the end. I know I said that last time, but it's crazy. 3 months really is a long time, and yet each week I do this, I'm like, what happened? It's been a really interesting process. I have a hard time saying this because, in one part of my mind, I know I wrote the ABCs of Happy, but I really feel like it was divinely inspired because sometimes I'll go back and read the cards. I'm like, who wrote that? It's a really lovely story. I think I told the story in the first video before we did the actual start of the challenge. So feel free to go back and listen to that. I'm still amazed, but the point is it works. I always say that. I'm like, when I actually do the practice, it actually works. Meaning something always comes up in my life that I couldn't see, or that needs to be changed, or that needs to be looked at. And this month is no different. So I told you all last week that I became aware of how unrealistic my expectations were as far as everything that I was doing in my life, that I wasn't able to manage my time because I was doing too much. And I want to let you know that I took action, that I have rearranged my schedule. I've let some things go that were really, really difficult to let go of, yet I am listening to that inner voice that is showing me where I'm overworked and overstressed, and now I am actually doing something to change that. And it's incredibly empowering, and I really believe that life is always moving, and sometimes we have to make tough choices in order to go forward wherever we are being led. So, how did you do? How was asking someone in your life to point out where should is stealing your happiness? That wasn't the most fun thing. Honestly, the person that I asked kind of was like really? Because I hate to say it, that's a big one for me. So it tends to kind of bleed through all areas of my life. I have a lot of I should be this, or I should do that, or I should. So it was not a difficult question, but even that being highlighted of how much that permeates my life was just kind of like, oof, I've got to change that. I need to do something about that, because it's one thing if I know it, it's another thing if people on the outside looking in can clearly see it. Whew. But that's the whole point of this practice. We can be empowered to make the necessary changes to get us to where we want to go. So this week I have a meditation for you. And speaking, do you see Henry's little tail? Oh, hi buddy, come here. Hi. Aw, yay. Hi buddy. Do you have expectations? He has expectations of me. Oh, ow, okay. Of me never leaving him. This poor little guy. He has separation anxiety. Okay, focus. Okay, sorry. He's so cute. I get distracted. So this week, I totally did get distracted. Wow. I don't even know. I'm gonna need a moment. Okay, well, I'm just gonna start this week. I have a meditation for you, but before we get into that, I, as always, want to read our card, and then we will pull out just this week's focus. So here we go. Expectations. Having inflexible expectations is premeditated resentment. We all have expectations of the way we want our lives to be, other people to be, situations to be. The list goes on and on. There is no supposed to be or should be in life. Life just is. and holding too tightly to our expectations makes us rigid and disappointed. Learn to hold your expectations loosely. Sometimes they will be met, and sometimes they won't. Practice being okay in both situations and leave resentment behind. Okay, I actually remember what I was going to say, so I'll get back to that. I have a meditation for you this week, and on point with expectations, my audio didn't record. And so the quality of the meditation is not up to my expectations yet. When I do these meditations, I really do it just from an in the moment place. And when I went back and watched it, even though the audio didn't really get recorded well, I still wanted to show it to you because I think it was really beautiful and really meaningful, and I don't think I could recreate it. So we can all manage our expectations of the quality not being so great, but that's a good practice for me and maybe even for you. Okay, let's talk about this week's focus. It's pretty simple this week, but again, I think it's very powerful if you really look at it and then let it dig a little deeper into how and where it is in your everyday life and your thought life. So, learn to hold your expectations loosely. Sometimes they will be met, and sometimes they won't. Again, very simple. And for those of you who are laid back, lucky you. I don't feel like I am laid back. I feel like I have a lot of expectations of how things should go, and when they're not met, I'm not gonna lie, I can pout and or get mad. So for those of you who are laid back, maybe this isn't so much of an issue, but I want to encourage you. A lot of times we can hide our disappointments of our expectations being met from ourselves. So really look deep this week. So as always, we not only have a weekly focus, but we have a weekly challenge. So here is your challenge for this week, because mindfulness is awesome to bring awareness. Intention is what keeps us continually practicing, making a daily habit, but it's the action that brings the change. So here is your action step. This week, your challenge is to start every morning by taking a deep breath in and out, turning your palms up and saying out loud, I release my expectations for how I think today should go. And at the end of the week, write down any time you were pleasantly surprised by how things unfolded. So I want to encourage you to take action and do that challenge, and then to really sit back and kind of see what happened when you let go of how you think things should have gone. So we are in the home stretch, everyone. I want to thank you, like I always thank you, because I truly mean it, for doing this. I believe that the more people that can wake up to their hearts, to living out of love and not out of fear, to digging into the incredible inner resources that they have, their wisdom, their insight, and then living from that, our world will be a better place. But it takes intention and it takes practice. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoy this week's meditation, and I'll see you soon. Welcome to this month's meditation on expectations. I want to invite you to find a comfortable seat. You can sit anywhere that your body feels supported, and even if you need to, please feel welcome to lie down. We are going to start by bringing some attention to this space between the eyebrows, which energetically is known as the third eye, the seat of intuition, of spiritual insight, of wisdom. And I think it's a really good place to start, because when we have expectations, a lot of times they're coming from our wants and our needs, and or our unmet needs, or really from the place of ego, where it is all about us. And so bringing attention to this place energetically in the body that opens us up to perspective and even spiritual perspective, I think can be really helpful as we navigate through expectations. So to begin, I want you to just take hands together and bring your thumbs to that space between the eyebrows. Relax your shoulders, lean your head slightly forward, and let's take 3 deep breaths. Breathe any way that feels comfortable to you, in through the nose, out of the mouth, or even in and out through the nose and or mouth. One more. Good. Gently and slowly bringing the hands down, and then I want to invite you to rub the hands together. And as you do that, you should feel some heat and some friction. Let's take a nice deep breath in. And as we exhale, I want to invite you to cup the hands over the eyes and imagine that you could soften all the tiny little muscles around the eyes. You could melt and relax the muscles across the forehead and around the temples. And that this is an invitation to see beyond what is right in front of you. Your immediate response of you want this, or you're mad that you don't have this, and to open up to a higher perspective. Let's do that again, pulling the hands away from the eyes, bringing the hands back towards one another, rubbing the palms together, all the while keeping the shoulders relaxed, really kind of feeling that heat. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, one last time, cup the hands over the eyes and imagine that that heat and that energy is washing away any rigidity, any inflexibility in how you think life should be, how you think your current circumstances should be, and really being open to see beyond what's directly in front of you. Go ahead and pull the hands down away from the eyes and let them rest on top of the legs in whatever way feels most comfortable. Let's bring a little bit of relaxation to the shoulders. I'm going to invite you to inhale, lift the left shoulder up. To exhale, gently relax and release it down. To inhale, lift the right shoulder up. To exhale, slowly relax and release it down. Take your time. And one last time, let's do both shoulders together. Inhale up. And exhale down. And then as long as you feel comfortable, you can close the eyes, or you are welcome to keep your eyes open as we move into some quiet and some stillness. See if you can tune in to that sense of warmth around the eyes. Maybe a little more relaxation in the space between the eyebrows. And to encourage even more relaxation, see if you can feel your eyes getting heavy, moving back, dropping down, and shifting your awareness away from the external world and coming a little closer in to the heart, to insight, to wisdom, to all the things that maybe unintentionally you are blind to. The goodness amongst the difficulty, the solutions right in the midst of the problem. Path that's been laid before you when you feel stuck. See if you can lean back a little more.
sit down a little deeper and invite a sense of relaxation to feel like liquid being poured over the top of the head, running down over the back and the sides and the face, slowly trickling over the neck and the shoulders, down the arms, over the chest and the belly, spilling back over the spine. Noticing your breath as you feel this sense of relaxation moving over the hips, down the legs, and all the way into the feet. Take a deep breath in and out. And just notice what it feels like to be still for a few moments. Without any judgment, just kind of taking stock of how you feel today physically, mentally, emotionally. And part of our mindfulness practice is learning to be with what is. So letting go of any judgment. If you feel antsy, if you feel distracted, if your body feels tight. Lean back even more. Sit back and down even deeper. And then I want to invite you to bring one hand, it doesn't matter which one, into a fist. And lifting one hand palm up away from the leg, just letting it float in the air. And I want you just to breathe for a few moments and feel the difference of the hand that is drawn in and the hand that is open. Feeling what it feels like through the musculature. Feeling what it feels like energetically. And even noticing the other parts of the body that are connected to the hand that's in the fist and how they feel. And the other parts of the body that are connected to the open palm and how that feels. And then I'd like for you to name two descriptors, two adjectives of the hand that is in a closed fist. Like, what does that represent to you? It could represent anger. It could represent fear. It can represent stubbornness. So, to you, feeling your hand that's in a fist, what does that represent? What's the feeling behind that? Maybe simply just wanting things your way. And then shift your attention now over to the hand that is more open. And just quietly to yourself, what are two adjectives of how this feels or what it represents? Maybe it's receiving. Maybe it's letting go. Maybe it's simply being open. Maybe it feels restful. So just kind of naming the first two things that come to your mind without overthinking. What does the open palm feel like? And then go ahead and take a nice deep breath in as you bring hand against hand, thumbs to the space between the eyebrows, and take 3 deep breaths. Shoulders relax. Elbows heavy. 1 more. And then releasing the hands to rest in whatever way feels most comfortable. And taking a moment to reflect back upon the 2 things that the closed fist represented, and the 2 things that the open palm represented for you, to you. And trusting that you have been guided, trusting that that inner wisdom, insight, perspective has just been brought forward. That when you notice expectations, resistance, arguing with reality, that for now, in this time and season of your life, it's probably coming from the 2 descriptors of the closed fist. And the solution, the practice, where you want to move towards is the 2 descriptors that came to your mind from the open palm. So really looking back again at the opposite. One is what is getting in the way, and the other is what will move you forward. Relax the whole body. Breathe out any shame, breathe out any judgment, or thinking you should know better or be doing better. And trust that you know all that you need to know in the perfect time, in this moment. Trust that you've been guided, that you have tapped into that inner wisdom, that inner resource that is always there and available when we can get quiet and we can get still. Let's take one final deep breath in together and out. And then gently and slowly just move the head around in any way that feels good to loosen the neck. Maybe still keeping the eyes closed to connect with the body for a moment. To continue to soften, relax, release. And when you feel ready, blinking the eyes open. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I truly hope that you can take what you've gained and learned into the rest of this week. Blessings and peace. Namaste.